right, so I already decoded from the word problem, and what I used were the units to do that. Liters means volume, atmospheres pressure, Celsius temperature, and then they gave a second set of numbers for after. This was all before or stage 1, this was all after or part 2. And they wanted to know the new volume if the pressure was 150 atmospheres at 30 degrees C. So your first step is to decode and label each one. If you have two sets of numbers, that's an indication that you can use your gas law triangle. Okay? And I have two sets of P, V, and T, which means I'm going to do the combined gas law. And what is the combined gas law? P1 V1 over T1 equals P2 V2 over T2. Pressure 1 times volume 1 divided by temperature 1 equals pressure at 2 times volume at 2 divided by temperature at 2. So my next step is to substitute. My pressure, 1 atmosphere, so that goes in place of this pressure, 1.0. My volume, 1.2 times 10 to the 5. My temperature, 150. Oh, wait, that doesn't work. It needs to be in Kelvin. 150 plus 273. You always just add 273 to the Celsius to get the Kelvin. That's 423 Kelvin. And that's the end of my left side. On the right side, pressure 150. Volume is our variable over 30 plus 273. That's 303. Okay. Now, the only other thing you always have to watch out for is your units have to match. Temperature always has to be in Kelvin every single time for gas laws. Pressure just has to match. So since P2 is atmospheres, P1 has to be atmospheres. We could also set both of them to kilopascals or torrs or millimeters of mercury. As long as the pressures match units, you're fine. And the volume units have to match. So since volume was in liters here, my answer is going to be in liters. So pressure, the units have to match. Volume, the units have to match. Temperature, Kelvin only. All right, now let's combine like terms here. So I'm going to take 1 times 1.2 E, because the calculator uses that E button. That's that double E, not the script E, to the 5. And then you can always hit enter to make sure it is actually what you wanted it to be, divided by 423. And that gives me 283.68 equals, and now combine like terms on the sides. That'd be 150 divided by 303, which would give me 0.495 times V2. So 150 divided by 303 is 0.495. 1 times 1.2 times 10 to the 5 divided by 423 is 283.68. If you did not get this for the left side, make sure you're using parentheses because you may be inputting this into your calculator incorrectly. Now I got to divide both sides by 495 because I got to get V2 by itself. 283.68 divided by 0.495 gives me 573.09. Volume has to be in liters, so liters. Sig figs, 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 2 sig figs, 1 sig fig. As long as it was 30.0, let me just double check. Nope, it was just 1 sig fig, so actually this is going to round to 600 liters. 1 sig fig.